T. I am
Yep.
Koshkii, and with me here is JaKaTaK. How are you, JaKaTaK?
I'm doing great. I feel like Protoss is very balanced right now.
Yeah,
It's this weird sort of feeling that I have. I can't really quite tell you why,
I
but the balance I'm feeling is pretty real right now.
I get what you mean. I
Yeah.
understand too.
Yeah, a lot of people were complaining about adepts for a while, but I feel like now with the changes, it's really easy to balance Protoss, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Zerg's always been an easy thing to balance for me, but Protoss a little bit harder, but thank God to the recent patch. No Paras is, involved in these matchups today, so I think that it was really important to just, talk about Paras a little bit because, like,
Yeah,
it's unfair. We have a whole cast. We don't get to talk about an entire third of StarCraft.
I know. That's a good
Let's,
point.
let's be nice to them. So, we've given them their moment in the sun here, and that's really important. And also, we have Penguin versus Cuddle Bear, perhaps the most adorable combination of IDs. I was like, oh, it's a little penguin. It's like, oh, it's a cuddle bear. It's like, what do they do? And then like whip out like katanas and try to slice each other's heads off. You're like, oh my god, they're very violent, cuddly things. But we'll have the map starting off. Cuddle Bear apparently has lots of ping on East Coast, and
And I
Penguin
think, yeah,
has lots of ping
Penguin.
for Central. So no one is going to have good ping.
Just play on a really bad server for both
Yeah, both
players.
like play
Make
on
it
Korea
fair.
or something. Like you both have to play with 300 ping. It's like, well, okay. Yep, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, just get this sorted out really quick. All right, I think we've got a
We're gonna alternate
solution.
servers. We're gonna take turns. It's one of those
Yeah.
things that you learn early on as a small child. Take turns, and it looks like Penguin, Jake, and Cuddle Bear all realize taking turns is quite good. So they're gonna be going for that right now.
Looks like our first map is going to be Dusk Towers. Always a favorite.
Yeah, I've heard the phrase "our first map is going to be Dust Towers." I think 2.57 billion times so far. Um, really hoping to hit that 3 billion by the end of the year. It will
Yeah.
be tough, but I believe in our ability to choose Dusk Towers as a community. I think it's a very community-focused map that we all know and love. This will be yet another ZVT. The winner will be staying alive, and the loser will be going home. So, from that last game, we did have game time. Oh, excuse me, Dolan moved on, right? From that,
Yes,
Dolan. So
Dolan did
Dolan
move
goes out the
on.
group 2-0. Very excellent. So Dolan leaves the group 2-0, and now we just have Cuddle Bear, Penguin, and game time left. So the winner of this will have to play against game time. And if it's Penguin, oh, the very salty ways of the early Spire will happen. Looking forward to it. But let's get back to this matchup. TBZ Dusk Towers coming right up here.
Cuddle Bear. I think I've seen his TVZ before. Seems to be pretty good, but let's see what he pulls out. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left. We have our green Terran representing Rival Gaming. It is Cuddle Bear.
And his opponent apparently has got less ping. Spawning in the top right, it's the adorable Penguin.
I'll just lose to unmicrowable stuff. The ping
Whatever.
might be
The
a
ping
little
might be bad for both of them, actually.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Unfortunately, ping is an issue. We in esports exist The vehicle for esports, it's like a vehicle, is technology. And as a result, such things as ping are involved. And so we do have the barracks coming out with the gas, and Penguin going to be opening up with hatch gas pool. This is a little bit more standard way than our other Zergy player was opening with that gasless style against Terran. So a little bit earlier speed, get a bit of map control. But the opponent opening Reaper over here.
Pretty standard openers for both races. Nothing too extreme yet, but as you said, just those little things. Having those links out for that Reaper that is going to pop soon is always helpful.
Yep. Getting a good eye on that. And expansions for both players coming down at usual reasonable times here. If you're a new player, this is this nice safe builds. You can use the Reaper expand and the hatch gas pool in this matchup. It'll allow you for some nice easy defenses of any of your opponent's aggression and some good scouting information as well.
Factory now coming down for Cuddle Bear. Maybe getting some Hellions. We'll see what he does with that. Hellions, kind of common in TVZ, but not necessarily the choice.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Reactor coming down, double queen as well, so gonna stall out a bit. Do some microification. Very good so far. Hasn't lost a single unit. Still true. Hanging on here as the third queen comes out. Lower queen count as well with this style.
Reaper got a nice little look at that gas there, saw that only one drone was in that gas, so nothing crazy like a quicker Roach War and a quicker layer coming out just yet. Looks like we will have two Hellions coming out here for Cuddle Bear. He's adding a starport on as well.
And this is going to allow third base for Penguin come up at a sort of safe timing, not too aggressive. We do have Reactor and Tech Lab available for swapping over here from Cuddle Bear. We'll see if he decides to go into Banshee play. Banshee play is one of those nice moves that you could do right now in this matchup, just because it's a little bit stronger against any Ravager Ling attacks, which are pretty powerful right now and may even get nerfed as a result. But I'm not going to go for that. Going to go for the Liberator. A bit more aggressive play.
Liberator is favored a little bit on this map. There's a nice little pocket behind the natural you can tuck your Liberator into, and it's a little harder to reach. However, does that go for normal Liberators, or is it just the ones with range?
I think just the ones with range, but I'm not 100% on that one. Link's coming out in a flood, gonna try to get us around over here, and cutting them off at the pass, just barely not surrounding some of them. Running into the corner, though, is Cuddle Bear, and he will be cuddled to death by cuddly Zerglings.
Loses all of those Hellions. Gets a little bit of damage to the Zerglings, but losing those Hellions, not exactly fun either.
Yep, running cross. Trying to get something done with these Hellions. No armory this time around, so not that kind of aggression. And we have Lingbane Mutastyle this time. So really cool. Not a lot of players can play both styles. A lot of players will tend towards one or the other, and Penguin very much Lingbane Mutastyle type player. A lot of experience in pretty much all the matchups, so as a result, he's going to be favoring that Mutastyle, and as long as his opponent has done his research, he'll know that this is the most likely scenario, and I wonder... That's why he decided to go for the Liberator play.
Yeah, I was just wondering that too. If maybe those Liberators were not only for some early harass, but maybe helpful against the mutas that would probably be coming out in the future.
Yeah, especially since he knows that Penguin doesn't tend to go roaches. He knows he's got a little bit of time to harass. No Ravagers are going to be coming in anytime soon. He's just mostly going to use the Queens and Spores to deal. So, nice move here from Cuddle Bear.
That Spire finishing soon, though, so this harass with the Liberator will be ending after those mutas pop out and are able to shut it down. However, Liberators do some nice damage to mutas when they're actually not in Liberation mode, so
Yeah.
there is still that.
Yeah, absolutely. That splash damage can be absolutely brutal. In the Liberator versus Muta matchup, little known fact, Mutas can trade quite well against Liberators as long as their numbers are correct, and especially upgrades. If you can have an additional armor upgrade against the Liberator, so your armor is one higher than their attack in terms of upgrades, you can do incredibly well as long as you magic box your mutas and keep them nice and spread out. Don't use the attack move, but instead click past where the Liberators are, use a hold position command, and then continue to spread out as the engagement goes on with one Mutalisk at a time. The really good players will say, oh, the Liberators are targeting this Mutalisk, so I'll click it and move it to the side. Uh-oh, getting a little too pumped up there. But this is what happens when you have such a big numbers advantage. You don't need to utilize that split micro quite as much because you can just snap their neck before any of your Mutalisks die. And Mutalisks have super fast regeneration. All Zerg units regenerate, but Mutalisks regenerate faster than any other Zerg unit. They are special.
Indeed, and these mutas, they are in a little bit of a higher number now. Cuddle Bear, though, he has Marines, he has Widow Mines, he's pretty set up to deal with them. It's still going to be annoying, though. He needs to be a little bit careful. And do we have any more Liberators? I do not think so. I thought there was one more.
I've been favoring the Medivacs for a bit here.
Yeah.
Is going into Armory as well. And Baneling Speed, really important upgrade. Doesn't look like it's going to be finished for this fight. The creep will slow down the push, but I don't know if he'll get the 45 seconds or so that he needs to finish that upgrade before the fight. Baneling's morphing in, very important. That the Baneling count is high enough, and he does look like he's got quite the Baneling count here. Going to make a big move out while his opponent's on creep. Let's see if he continues to chase through. Nice Widowmine hit there. Carves off quite a few units, but really these Widowmines are here to destroy the Banelings. So, gonna pull back for the time being. Leave that one. I like this move here. Leaves one Widowmine behind.
Yeah, we'll catch any units moving out, and if it is mutas and they're all clumped together, that could do a fair bit of damage.
Yep. Won't kill any more than one, but oh yeah,
Smart
look at this.
move
Very
there
on
from
top.
Penguin.
It's like, oh yeah, did you leave one behind? You did. Now that's a dud Widowmine for the next half a minute or so. Here we go. Nice positioning over here. Going to come from the high ground. The Widowmines do get burrowed. However, this is going to force Penguin to pull back. And, oh yeah, going to scout that. Oh, it gets canceled right away. And he actually didn't go far enough to scout it with this Marine. That's funny.
I do like what Cuddle Bear is doing here, clearing off as much creep as possible.
Yep, very smart. Very patient. Baneling Speed is done. A lot of it's going to be about... Oh! Is going to get hit. Is going to get hit. He's got the number that he needs to deal with one Widowmine at a time, but unfortunately he did trigger two there. Going to be running in with these Links and Banes. Oh my god, the Widowmines look like they're going to get great shots off, but no, the Mutalisk actually tanking some of those Widowmine hits so the Banelings could come through. In the end of all things, though, I don't think it was particularly fortuitous for Penguin.
No, Penguin still lost quite a bit there.
Yeah.
And Cuddle Bear now has started Thor production, so that will help quite a bit with these mutas. That and the Liberator that is
Liberator
out
as well going to help. Oh, interesting. Using the Liberator as anti-ground. Oh no, this drone transfer. Ill-timed. Run forward here. Going to try to trigger some of these Widowmines, but GG. Cuddle Bear takes game one.
Cuddle Bear looking pretty good there.
Absolutely.
I did like some of Penguin's control as well. I liked his use of using, one link to lure out that Widowmine hit when he knew it was there, but overall Cuddle Bear just played very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And both players probably a little bit frustrated with the ping. A lot about this match is going to be about who can keep the cooler head, who can remain calm under the non-optimal conditions.
Yeah.
And make the best use of the constraints that they have, both suffering from a fair bit of ping here. So it's interesting too because Penguin does tend to play Muta styles, and as a result, very fragile, fast unit composition. He's affected by ping a lot more than, say, going for a range style. So
Yes, that is
the
a
fact that
very
he
good point.
doesn't really have both in his pocket, not many Zerg players do, kind of putting him at a bit of a disadvantage here, I feel.
Our next map, though, going to be Arena, an interesting map. You can see
Yes.
a lot of early aggression from both players. Both Terran and Zerg have some builds that they like to pull out on this map especially.
Yeah, we'll see if Penguin wants to get aggressive with it. The problem with very aggressive plays in this kind of a scenario where you're suffering from bad ping is that a lot of times they hinge on the back of, the best control is going to win, or maybe you hope for a build order win. Maybe you hope for like your opponent went greedy, but this is Arena. No one's going to go greedy on Arena unless they're, clinically insane or have this perfect mind gamey. Like, I feel like SOS is the only person who would go for a greedy play on Arena because he would like have this perfect read on his opponent. Like, my opponent's going to play safe because they think I'm going to play aggressive, but I'm going to play greedy and then I'm going to win. It's like, SOS, how do you know every time how to open perfectly? And he's just like, well, I'm SOS. Fair point. Fair point, SOS. Good job.
That is true.
Penguin
We
gonna...
will see some mind games.
Mind games. Yeah, it's tricky in a map like this. When you have extreme maps, either Arena, which is like extreme rush map, or Ruins of Saras, which is an extreme macro map, you have these very heavy mind games where it's like, okay, do I go for the build that's probably going to be best in this map, or do I go for the build that beats the build that is usually best on this map? And going to be a bit on the tricky side to get that all figured out. We are, by the way, quick shout out to Purity of Form in the chat with the Cuddle Bear is coming meme. Very fantastic. Very adorable. I would like it though if instead of Eddard Stark holding the sword, he was holding a bear.
A bear.
That would be the best. Just like Cuddle Bear is coming. I have no bears. I only have Zerglings and probes.
Oh,
there's no bear units.
I've got a bear upstairs. No bear downstairs though.
I could steal Neuro's bear. Neuro has a bear. I could steal that one. I think he would
I'm
be
checking
upset.
to see if I have a bear. No, I don't. I've got so many stuffed animals. They're everywhere. They've taken over.
Oh man, you gotta watch out. They're just gonna become sentient at some point and just like start, they're gonna grab your credit card and just ruin your credit. Just like get a whole bunch of gummy bears and we're gonna be like, we're freeing you. You'll never be eaten.
Oh, I do have gummy bears right here. There is that.
There you go. Don't want to cuddle with the gummy bear though.
No.
That's not gonna end well. There are some things that are good to cuddle with and some things that are not. Porcupines and gummy bears on the not side of that list.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably not good to cuddle a porcupine.
Yeah, one of the non-intuitive cuddly things though, hedgehogs. They look all spiky and defensive and stuff, but they can be quite cuddly.
It's true. I've heard they're actually pretty fun to hold and cuddle a little bit.
Yep, yeah, they're pretty awesome pets. They only get into like the spiky mode when they feel threatened, so it's fine. And wow, very quick victory here for Penguin. That was impressive. Looks like a 4-second victory. Oh no, that was a 1-second victory. Let's take a look at the score screen and see the length of the game here. And we may have a new record for swiftest victory NA. Yo. 10 seconds. Oh wait, no, I think it's because I left the game in 10 seconds? Or maybe 10 seconds is the lowest. Does your score screen say 10 seconds as well?
Mine says 10 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you 10 seconds is just the lowest number that it will go to. If it's below 10 seconds, you just say 10 seconds. Because that was way faster than 10 seconds. Blizzard, please fix. Important bug. Don't worry about balancing the game or restoring the identity of the siege tank. Fix this bug. That's much more important.
I think Cuddle Bear, he broke. Cuddle Bear broke.
That's a bit unfortunate. You don't really think of a cuddly bear as something that can break, but proving us wrong here is Cuddle Bear. I think he's got broken internets. One of the unfortunate things to suffer from
he's back.
Broken internets.
The bear is back.
Excellent. Very good. We'll have our game getting set up shortly. This is the losers match. Winner will go on to play against Game Time. Cuddle Bear up 1-0 at the moment. The map is still Alrena. That last game was not a real game. You may not have even seen that game. That's how quickly Penguin was greeted with the victory screen.
Hopefully, no more issues there. I know both players kind of suffering from some ping tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But sticking through it.
Yep. If there are any Neuro subscribers in the chat, you should use the bear emote right now.
I was actually looking for a bear emote.
I think it's Neuro Bear. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But you have to be a sub. Go sub to Neuro's stream. Twitch.tv/Neuro StarCraft. And then come back and use the emote. Totally worth the $5 to use this emote and cheer on Cuddle Bear to victory.